Hi everybody, I'm VFM Gamer and welcome to our first video in our second season of our Sensible World of Soccer Career Mode series with Parma in the Italian Serie A. Before we get into the video, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe button. Please show the channel a little bit of support and I hope you enjoy this series as we go along. Now, a new season means new signings and we had to make a few because last season we simply weren't good enough. Our first signing has come all the way from Corinthians in the Brazilian league, and it's a central midfielder, Zé Elias, a dynamic player brought in to bring a bit of legs and a bit of pace to the midfield and hopefully a few goals along the way. Our second signing was the creative centre forward from River Plate, Ariel Ortega, brought in to replace the gap left by Gianfranco Zola up front when we sold him at the end of the season. And our final star signing from Newcastle United, David Ginola. You can't really say much more about him, brought in to bring a bit of creativity and a few goals from the left wing. Now, let's get straight into the action. Our first game of the video is the highlights of our cup game against Genoa away in the Italian Cup. Let's do it.
As is the tradition in Italian football, the season starts off with the Italian Cup second round. Parma's opponents, Genoa, proving to be an unknown quantity due to their lack of participation in Serie A last season. With the three new signings of Zé Elias, Ginola and Ortega in the starting lineup, it was the latter of the three that almost started off with a dream debut, putting his shot just wide of the post. But on 13 minutes, normal service resumed as last season's top goal scorer Chiesa put a tidy finish inside the post. But that lead didn't last long, and just 2 minutes later, the Parma defence failed to clear a long ball by Genoa. The confusion in the defence left an opening for Nepu, who finished neatly into the back of the net. The Parma boss was left ruining the part that injuries played in last year's league campaign, and it wasn't long before they reared their ugly head again, this time new signing Ortega on the end of a particularly bad challenge. Both sides continued to press before half-time, this great chance by Roy Tilley saved by Lukabuchi. And then shortly after, an equally good save from the Genoa keeper forced from Chiesa's shot. So with the scores at half-time 1-1, it was time for Parma to assess the damage done to Ortega in that challenge. Unfortunately, it was too much for him to run off, and it was time to turn to the ever-reliable Alessandro Melli to take his place. With a fully fit 11 back on the pitch, it wasn't long before Parma's dominance began to grow. The chances started to pour in as Crespo took a lovely shot which hit the post. And this long-range David Ginola's shot floated safely into the hands of the Genoa keeper. But on 71 minutes, the Genoa resistance was broken, and once again Chiesa struck, scoring his second goal of the game. There was one last chance for Genoa to score an equaliser before the final whistle, when Lukabuchi was caught in no man's land, but the cross was unable to find an attacking player inside the box. So there we have it, the full-time whistle. A nervous 2-1 victory for Parma, but a win to start the season nonetheless. Match day number 2 saw Jones's Parma side travel away to Roma, a tough opponent based on last season's league positions, and made even tougher due to the fact they would be without star signing Ariel Ortega. He could be out for some weeks with the injury he sustained in the cup game against Genoa. But it was another top striker that would score the first goal in this match, Daniel Fonseca opening the scoring for Roma. And Roma nearly made it 2 just minutes before half-time, if it wasn't for this fantastic world-class tackle by Lilian Thuram inside the box, leaving the Roma striker in a bit of discomfort. So with the score of 1-0 to Roma at half-time, Parma had it all to do in the second half, and in times of need, who would step up? But the fantastic Enrico Chiesa, making it 1-1 in the 50th minute. The Parma goalkeeper Lukabuchi continued his fantastic form from last season, making his lovely save forcing the ball out for a corner, the result of which would break down the other end of the pitch, a Parma counter-attack swiftly made and ending up with Enrico Chiesa's shot which would strike the post. On the 78th minute, Parma found themselves behind again. The failure to clear this corner resulted in a Daniel Fonseca close-range shot which ended up in the back of the net. Seconds later, Gibini would be booked for this poor foul on Massimo Crippa. The tackle would prove to be costly in more ways than one, as directly from the free kick, Chiesa found himself bearing down on the Roma defence, with only one result. Full time at the Olympic Stadium, 2-2. Just a few days later, Parma would return to the Olympic Stadium in the first round of the Euromasters Cup. This early chance being saved incredibly well by the Roma keeper, who would then send the ball further down the pitch, and Fonseca would pounce on his own rebound off the post to nestle the ball nicely in the back of the net, 1-0. With just 5 or so minutes to go until half-time, Alessandro Melli pounced on this poor pass out from the keeper. He stepped up to take the resulting penalty and made no mistake from the spot. Both sides could have been forgiven for settling for 1-1 at half-time, but this lovely ball from the right wing found Chiesa, and he finished with aplomb, 2-1 to Parma. The second half proved to be just as dramatic as the first. This fantastic shot by David Ginola ended up in a fingertip save on the Roma keeper. On the 54th minute, Luca Bucci managed to make this fantastic save, only for his hard work to be undone by a poorly timed challenge with the ref pointing at the spot. The injured player picked himself up and scored. It was never going to be a quiet day at the office for the referee in this match, and on the 59th minute he awarded yet another penalty for a bad challenge, this time to Parma. Alessandro Melli steps up, scores the goal, and puts Parma back in front. The converted strike seemed to breathe new life into Parma, and on the 68th minute, Chiesa converts another strike from the edge of the box and puts Parma 4-2 in front. It would finish that way. What a game, 4-2 at the Olympic Stadium. Match day number 4 saw Parma in the unusual position of being 4 games into the season and still having not played a home game. With Reggiana the opponents this time, the Parma travelling fans were hoping to see goals galore. And it didn't take them long, Enrico Chiesa, last season's top goal scorer, finishing this exquisite shot to make it 1-0. He then pounced again just 5 minutes before half-time with an identical finish from the edge of the box. With the score 2-0 at half-time and Chiesa's eyes firmly set on the match ball, it was Reggiana that would score first in the second half with a timed finish from the centre of the penalty area. On 67 minutes, Lilian Thuram found himself in the referee's notebook for this badly timed challenge on the edge of the box. Luckily, the resulting free kick was cleared, danger over. Alessandro Melli struck the woodwork on 73 minutes, and in the panic that ensued, Reggiana gave away a dangerous free kick on the edge of the box which only one man was going to take. David Ginola stepped up, but his chance was cleared. The final whistle then, and Parma pick up their first league win of the season, 2-1. Parma's first home game of the season came in match day 5, their second leg game of the Italian Cup against Genoa. With 2 away goals giving them an advantage from the first leg, you would think that a solid defensive display would be required from the Parma defenders, which makes Luca Bucci's actions in the 10th minute all the more unexplainable. A poor attempt at making a run out with the ball at his feet, punished by the striker. But with the red-hot in-form Enrico Chiesa up front, Parma were never going to be behind for long. What a tidy finish from the edge of the box. (1-1) at half-time, and a chance for both sides to regroup. But it was Parma that collected themselves quickest in the second half, and Enrico Chiesa scored once again, bagging a brace. On 59 minutes, he scored his 3rd goal of the game, ensuring that match ball was going to be going home with him at the end of the day. Genoa would find time to score one more goal before the end of the game following a series of missed chances, but it would prove to be nothing more than a consolation. And it would be Parma going through to the next round of the Cup with a comfortable 3-2 victory, and the tie finishing 5-3 on aggregate. Matchday number 6 provides the toughest test so far this season. The visit of Juventus, and even the return of Ortega to the side can't shake the fear of the front 3 from Juve. And straight from kick-off, Parma suffer a setback with an injury to Daniel Bravo after a fairly routine tackle just outside their own box. There were more injury woes for Jones's Parma side. For David Ginola this time, he was on the end of a tough Zinedine Zidane challenge following this wonderful shot by Enrico Chiesa. And with the injuries piling up, it wasn't long before Juventus took advantage. Christian Vieri tapping in from close range. So with the score of 1-0 at half-time, it was time for Jones to shuffle the pack, Rambaldi coming on to replace the injured David Ginola. But it wasn't enough to keep Juventus at bay, and on the 66th minute, Christian Vieri doubled his tally. Now with the game clearly having slipped out of Parma's reach, there was enough time for Christian Vieri to get his hat-trick on the 81st minute. Full time at the Ennio Tardini, Parma 0, Juventus 3.
Well, there you have it. We finish our video with a disappointing 3-0 defeat to Juventus at home. The league champions absolutely schooled us in that match there, but it leaves us 10th place in Serie A after just 3 matches, but there is still a long way to go in the season. Now, before we finish up, don't forget to click on that like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you could let me know what you think of the video in the comments section. We tried to take on all the suggestions that we were given at the end of the last season to try and make the episodes a little bit more streamlined and a little bit more fun for you to watch. Anyway, in the meantime, I've been VFM Gamer. Thanks very much for watching. You can catch me on Twitch on a Tuesday and a Thursday evening, and I'll see you on video number 2 from me. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.